Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a thriller film, The Clinic. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie is set in 1979 when a young pregnant woman, Beth, travels with her partner to visit her parents to spend their Christmas together. On their way, a truck suddenly approaches them and they almost get into an accident, but luckily her fiancé manages to get on the side of the road. After that, they decide to stop by the nearby motel. The hotel owner finds Beth beautiful and notices her boobies, so Beth's fiancé glares at him. While chilling in the sun lounge, a couple arrives and looks at them strangely, so Beth greets them. The man gazes at her, but the woman pulls him and leaves hurriedly. During the afternoon, Beth takes a nap and experiences a nightmare where she sees a baby crying and surrounded by blood. She also notices the Roman numerals. Suddenly, she wakes up crying, as it is not the first time she dreamt about it. Her fiancé assures her and tries to calm her down, as Beth worries that she might have a miscarriage again. He then encourages her to sleep, saying that she will give birth to their healthy baby girl. Later, while Beth is in a deep sleep, her fiancé is wide awake. He leaves a note, saying he will stroll outside to look for food as he cannot fall asleep. It was already late at night and the restaurant was closed. Unfortunately, the car runs out of gas, so Beth's fiancé walks to the motel. As he returns to their room, he already feels strange as the door is unlocked. Then he sees Beth is gone. He looks around, but she is not there, so he reports to the police. The police officer arrives and interrogates Beth's fiancé and the hotel owner. The fiancé gets irritated and accuses the owner, since he gets infatuated with him the moment they arrive. The cop tries to calm him down, but Beth's fiancé freaks out and starts harassing the hotel owner. So the cop beats him. He passes out and the officer arrests him instead. Meanwhile, Beth wakes up in an abandoned facility, soaking in a bathtub filled with ice. She discovers a stitch on her belly and realizes that her baby was stolen. She gets up and finds a pair of clothes with the Roman numerals printed on them. Beth wanders around the building, crying and confused as she sees each room with a bathtub. She weeps as she goes out of the building and sees no one there. As she runs outside, she arrives at the gate and cries, seeing that the fence is secured. Beth collapses and the other women find her with wounds on their abdomens. Meanwhile, Beth's fiancé is with the cop on the road. He takes the cop's gun and gets himself uncuffed. He ties the cop into the tree and drives the police vehicle away. Then another woman helps Beth to cover his wound. They are clueless as to why they are there. Suddenly, they hear screams, so they immediately return to the building, following the noise. As they enter the room, they see blood on the floor, and then they find another woman bleeding. Her abdomen is stitched but opened. The woman tells them her baby is blue and asks them to take care of him. Then she dies. After burying the woman outside, they get curious as the woman mentions that her baby is blue. They think maybe it has a disease. So 3 of the 4 mothers are determined to find their babies. They return to the building and split their group. The woman named Ivy suggests going with the shy mother as she has the lantern, so Beth tells her to take care of her since the lady looks delicate. Then Ivy finds a camera. She takes a picture of her and hands her the camera. Ivy suddenly vanishes into the room and finds some gummies. Subsequently, while Beth walks around, the woman Veronica reveals that Ivy was raped, so she thinks Ivy is relieved to know that her baby is gone. They arrive at an empty room and see some photos of pregnant women. Beth realizes they are not the first batch of victims. Meanwhile, the shy mother wanders alone as she cannot find where Ivy went. She walks into a room full of insects, which makes her drop the lantern, and it breaks. As she tries to fix it, there is a glimpse of a woman standing from behind. Just then, they hear the shy mother's screams and find her dead with her abdomen wide open. They mourn her death, and Beth blames Ivy for not looking after her. Subsequently, Veronica finds a green clip inside her belly and thinks maybe they should run away instead. Ivy then finds that the shy mother took a picture of the person who killed her, and they discover it is another mother wearing the same clothes as theirs. Back to Beth's fiancé, he angrily returns to the motel and strikes the hotel owner's face. So the owner reveals that someone called him asking if a pregnant woman is staying at the motel. He forces the owner to disclose where they took her. Meanwhile, the mothers figure out that the Roman numerals on their clothes are in sequence, numbering each of them, and Beth recalls it has been in her dream. Suddenly, Ivy stares at the room, seeing some formula bottles. As they enter the room, they find the babies alive, locked in cages with colored tags. They get emotional when looking at the babies, but they do not know which one is theirs. As Beth holds the green clip they found in the shy mother's belly, she realizes that the different colored pins inside them match the baby's tags. She also recalls the first woman they found, who mentioned her child is blue. Just then, Beth realizes that the woman in the picture tears out another woman's abdomen in order to gather the color of the clip inside them and identify which one is her baby without tearing herself open. Shockingly, Ivy looks at the baby and tells them they must get them out as soon as possible. Veronica looks at her in shock since she assumes Ivy wants to abort her baby, but Ivy says she feels different after seeing the baby. Since Veronica is also a doctor and remembers a veterinary laboratory and saw medical tools, she suggests going there as she can operate on their abdomens. However, two people are watching them from the monitor. As they walk outside, they see two dogs fighting over a dead rodent. They quietly stop, but the dogs still notice them. They immediately run as the dogs chase their smell. The three split in two directions, so the dogs split in two directions. Luckily, they get away with the dogs. Beth and Veronica jump into a deep excavated trench and lose consciousness, while Ivy runs to the farm and slides to hide inside the big metal bucket. At the same time, Beth's fiancé is again on his way to where the hotel owner points him. Unfortunately, the car crashes on the road, which causes his death. Then, Beth experiences a nightmare again, and Veronica wakes her up. Beth tells her that she has dreamed of that place, the babies, and the Roman numerals, even before encountering them. But Veronica finds it impossible, so Beth proceeds to tell her that the dream started after she had a miscarriage 2 years ago. Beth suggests they climb up, but Veronica tells her she tried it, but she seems to have dislocated her knee. So Beth tries it and manages to get out. She tries to help Veronica, but she cannot lift herself. Meanwhile, Ivy gets up and quietly wanders around the cattle barn. Unfortunately, it is a dead end, and as she returns to the entrance, it's already locked. The cows start mooing loudly, and Ivy fears someone is there. She frighteningly calls Beth and Veronica, but suddenly, the brutal mother grabs her from behind and lacerates her neck until she dies. Meanwhile, someone watching them from the monitor takes their files and crosses out Ivy's picture as if playing a game. Beth walks around to look for something she can use to help Veronica. She finds a house, enters, and sees a woman's photograph. But then, someone is approaching. She peeps through the window and sees a man pulling the trolley with Ivy in it. Beth hides as the man enters the house, and the man notices her from the mirror. While doing something on the sink, the man speaks to himself, saying ladies are not allowed in the house as Miss Shepherd will get mad. He utters the same line repeatedly, so Beth reveals herself as she realizes that the man is mentally ill. She hands him some candies, introduces herself, and then asks who Miss Shepherd is. The man tells her that Miss Shepherd is his mom, but he cannot call her that. Beth notices the keys on his belt and asks if it is for the baby's cage. The man responds that he is not allowed to talk about it, and then he quickly runs outside. Beth chases him into the woods. Successfully, she catches the man and manages to get the keys. Beth brings the metal cages to Veronica, which she uses to climb up. Beth assists her to walk and later puts her in the car and helps her with her wound. Suddenly, someone is in another car and approaches them. Beth immediately grabs Veronica and they run to the veterinary laboratory. Then Beth sets up the storage cabinets to secure the door, while Veronica starts trying to remove the stitch on her abdomen. Beth assists her when suddenly a woman bangs on the door. She cannot enter as the door is blocked, so Beth urges Veronica to do it quickly when suddenly the lights turn off, making it difficult for Veronica to operate on herself. Beth walks around to look for the woman, but surprisingly, Veronica glances at the brutal mother from behind, but she immediately attacks her. She lacerates her neck and pushes her to the ground. The brutal mother hurriedly scrapes Veronica's abdomen and finds the yellow clip. Seconds later, Beth attacks her and they fight each other. When she also tries to target her abdomen, Beth kicks her to the wall and the tube pierces through her stomach. After that, Beth rushes to check on Veronica, who is dying. Before she breathes her last breath, she tells Beth to take care of her baby, making Beth cry. Subsequently, she notices the brutal woman is gone, so she looks for her and finds her lying in the bathroom. She tears her abdomen and gets the tag inside her. Beth finds the tags on the floor, but the last tag is in the brutal mother's hand. Since she will need the last one to identify which one is her child, the mother threatens to drop it in the hole unless Beth promises to take care of her baby. Then she reveals that she met a woman who tells her to kill 5 women to find out which one is her baby by collecting the tags implanted in them. She then shows a picture of Miss Shepherd, the mastermind, holding the tag during the operation. Afterward, she tells Beth again to take care of her baby before she dies. Beth takes the tag immediately and runs to see the babies in the room. Apparently from the monitor, the strange couple they saw from the hotel is watching the mothers fighting each other and concludes Beth is the last woman standing. She excitedly arrives in the room, only to discover the babies are no longer in their cribs. Beth feels devastated. She freaks out and screams in frustration. Moments later, the lights turn off and someone suddenly knocks her off. Then the police officer and the hotel owner take Beth's body out of the vehicle, unconscious. Later, she wakes up chained to the floor, while the Russian couple discusses with Miss Shepard, who later hands them Beth's baby. Beth freaks out, but she cannot do anything since she is chained. She cries in frustration seeing her child. Then Miss Shepard directs the Russian couple to Beth, signaling the man to finish her off. But before that, Miss Shepard reveals their shady deals, where clients select a child from different mothers and assess the child's strength based on the mother's performance. So the strongest child, who came from a strong mother, will be set for adoption. Miss Shepard brags that it is the only facility that allows a prospective parent to evaluate the child's mother before purchasing. Besides, she adds that unlike buying an appliance, if the child is faulty, they cannot return it. As the Russian husband is about to pull the trigger, Miss Shepard's mentally ill son appears, holding a shotgun. He points it at the Russian man, and Beth begs him to help her. Miss Shepard is shocked. She orders her son to shoot Beth, but he does not seem to listen, as Beth reminds him that she gave him candies. Moments later, Miss Shepard yells at him to shoot her, and the Russian man immediately hits him. Miss Shepard's son pulls the trigger too, killing the Russian couple. So Miss Shepard runs off with Beth's child. Subsequently, Beth manages to unchain herself. She carries the shotgun and looks around the house. She finds the room with several monitors and the mother's files on the table. Then she hears her child crying in another room. She sheds tears in delight to finally carry her baby. But Miss Shepard suddenly appears from the door. Beth puts down her baby and points the gun at her as she approaches them. Suddenly, Miss Shepard asks Beth about her own parents, perplexing her. So Miss Shepard reads the envelope, indicating Beth's personal information, as she reveals that her parents also purchased her in this way. However, Beth refuses to believe her smelly bullshit, so Miss Shepard explains that her parents could not adopt a child legally as her father had a criminal record. She slides the envelope to let her see the file, and Beth suddenly realizes that the child she sees in her dreams is herself. Miss Shepard tells her that her biological mother is strong like her. Beth freaks out and attacks her with the gun, thrusting the keys into her stomach, ending her shepherding life. Beth takes that revenge as she thinks of the other mothers who died in the process. Finally, Beth carries her child in the ambulance, and the police officer hands him her fiance's wallet, indicating his death. Months later, Beth and her child visit the grave of her biological mother. Along the way, she comes across the old man who just went from the gravesite. As she notices the flower on her mother's grave, she asks the caretaker about the man. So he tells her the man's pregnant wife went missing and he never found his child. Beth now believes the man is her biological father. The movie ends with Beth and her child going to find and meet her biological father. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.